Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes.
How do you enjoy Christmas?
Yes. Amen.
Amen.
And yes.
Amen. We did enjoy Christmas too.
Amen.
And you know what I was thinking about Christmas? About things that we do in Christmas. I couldn't stop thinking, what if there were no Christmas? Have you ever thought that? What if there were no Christmas? If there were no Christmas, we would be all missing something, wouldn't we? We would be all missing something. Even though they say that we only miss things that we already had before, we can't miss something that you never had. But if there were no Christmas, we would be missing quite a few things. If there were no Christmas, imagine your memory of your childhood. I know some of you probably grew up decorating a Christmas tree, putting decorations all around the house, sitting at the table at Christmas Day with your family and friends and enjoying Christmas. The colorful lights dancing through the night. Beautiful. In contrast with the snow. Well, we do have snow. If there were no Christmas, would be no decorations. Would be no colorful lights. Would be no opening presents. Would be no Christmas tree or decorating Christmas tree. If there were no Christmas, would be no sitting at the table with the family. I know many people don't give much importance to Christmas cards, but there would be no Christmas cards. If there were no Christmas, there would be no Christmas carols. All those beautiful songs that we just sing, Silent Night, that would not exist. All those Christmas songs that we sing in this time of the year, there would not be. If there were no Christmas, there is no Christmas shopping. That can be a good thing, right? Even though sometimes in a rush and the last minute to buy a present for someone that just showed up, that just called you, say, I'm coming to spend Christmas with you. Even though we enjoy those moments. If there were no Christmas, we all would be missing something. More memories is adding into our mind every Christmas that goes by. You start thinking back, well, last Christmas I did this, so this Christmas I'm going to do a little bit different. I see nothing wrong with the holidays, such a Christmas, with this glowing feeling to be together with the family, to eat together, to open the presents. But how foolish we would be if that's all we would miss. Imagine we would miss much more than that. Jesus wouldn't have come, and the first Christmas would never have been. No manger scene, no stories of Mary and Joseph. No shepherds, no wise men, no birthday of Jesus to celebrate. If there were no Christmas, nothing these would matter. If Jesus hadn't had a birthday, then he wouldn't have come 2,000 years ago and lived among us like John chapter 1 verse 14 says. If there were no Christmas, there would be no shepherds. No angel singing, no star showing where Jesus was born. Think about what the world would have missed if there were no Christmas. There would be no golden room, No parables about the Good Samaritan. No parables about the prodigal son. Those beautiful songs that Tass and Baum just sang would never exist. Because they talk exactly what Jesus did when he was here. Beautiful song. Inspired. Would not exist. There would be no stories about hearts being comforted and people healed. We would never have a life devoted to selfless service. We wouldn't know about it if there were no Christmas. Wonderful stories of Jesus that we hear. Wonderful parables would never existed. Parables that encourage us, tell us that inspire us, Christians and non-Christians, every day. If there were no Christmas, then there would be no cross. And for a natural order of things, Jesus was supposed to be born before he died. And but there is no Christmas, and then there is no cross. There is no death of Jesus. And if there is no death of Jesus, then we wouldn't have hope. No hope of salvation. No hope of eternal life. No hope of new earth. No hope of nothing. Our life would be meaningless. I want to invite you to open your Bibles in the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 12. 1 John, chapter 5, verse 12. And he says here, whoever has the Son has life. Whoever does not have the Son of God does not have life. If there were no Christmas, our life would be meaningless. We would have no hope. If you go to a hospital or to a nursing home, you always can notice a person who has hope and a person who doesn't. The person who has hope always has the tendency to get better and get better. The person that has no hope slowly start dying. And if there were no Christmas, we all would be dying without hope. The most beloved words written by John in chapter 3, verse 16. We all know that verse, right? Can we all say together that verse? For God so loved the world, and he gave his only begotten Son, for whosoever believe in him do not perish, but have everlasting life. Those words would not exist. Those words would be a horrible deception because God would not have come. Jesus would never have come to live among us, to die for us. If there were no Christmas, there would never be a resurrection. And now I want to bring you to 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Let's read verse 17 and 18. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 17 and 18. And it says here, if Christ had not been raised, your faith is futile and you are still in your sins. Then those also who have died in Christ have perished. If there were no Christmas, nothing would matter. Nothing would matter. If there is no resurrection, nothing would matter. Christ's death and resurrection have made possible our deliverance from slavery to life, destroying habits such as alcohol, drug abuse, cigarettes. They have made possible our escape from rage, sexual addiction, dishonesty. Christ's death and resurrection has set us free to be happy and joyful, even in the midst of our trials release from these slaveries would be the only an empty hope if there were no Christmas. If there were no Christmas, then would be no story of Jesus ascending to God. Who we would but pray. The book of John says, when you pray, you ask in my name. If there were no Christmas, there would be no Jesus as our mediator. Then would give us a standing with God rather than coming to God boldly. Even in our sinfulness, we would have to cover before Him and fear of retribution for our evil deeds. So much more we would miss if it was no Christmas. Let's turn our page in the book of John, chapter 14. John chapter 14. Verse 1 to 3. And it says, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God and believe also in me. Who is talking to? Jesus is saying that. But if there were no Christmas, those words wouldn't exist, would it? Believe in God, believe in also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions, many dwelling places. And if it were not, I would have told you that if I go and prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. What an empty words if there were no Christmas. If there were no Christmas, this passage would be a cruel myth. Because we would have no hope. If there were no Christmas, then we could not look forward for the coming of Jesus, for the second coming of Jesus. And even worse, we'll be prisoners of sin forever. And life will be nothing else but a few decades of life, and that's it. Nothing else. That's all will be life for us. If there were no Christmas, friends, there would be no resurrection, there would be no story of Jesus, there would be no Gospels. All that we know that Mark, Luke, and John wouldn't have exist. The Gospel wouldn't exist, because the Gospel that we preach is the Gospel of Jesus. If there were no Christmas, there would be no disciples. There will be no book of Revelation written by John. There would be no New Testament. We still would be living in the Old Testament. Hopeless. Without looking forward for the coming of Jesus. Without Christmas, friends, if there were no Christmas, then what would have happened to our loved ones that we are looking forward to see them? That hope that we have in our hearts to see all those who perished in Christ, that no longer with us, and we're looking forward, preparing ourselves to see them again. If there were no Christmas, that hope would not exist. A few days ago, we celebrated Christmas. And I can imagine in every home, getting together with the family, friends, food, their favorite food. Food is always good, isn't it? Opening the presents, and everyone curious to know, hey, what did I get for a present? All this decoration. The question I have for you this morning is that what else crossed your mind when you were celebrating Christmas? Did you ever think about what Jesus had done for us, leaving his home in heaven as a king of the universe. Coming as a baby to live in this horrible world. A perfect life just because of you and me. Just because so much love is in his heart. And he could not say, I will not go. If there were no Christmas, we would live in a very much sad world than we do. This morning I want to bring you to think about that every time when you celebrate Christmas. I know it's past, but the thing is, friends, it's not just at Christmas time that we are supposed to think about Jesus.
Amen.
I encourage you to put Jesus in your mind every single moment of your life, and you put him first in your life and live with him and walk with him every day.
Amen.
Make a commitment with God that you would walk closer and closer to him for the year 2020. More and more than you have done in 2019.
Amen.
And pray. And ask God to guide you, to lead you. Not only your own life, but lead you to other people so you can talk to them about the coming of Jesus, so they also can be ready. This is my great desire for each one of you, for each one of us this morning. May God bless you.
Amen.